Greek Mythology Demigods by Shamron Jetto and Nadia Boris. A demigod is a mythological being who has divine status. To be considered a demigod, one has to be an offspring of a god and a mortal. Gods are powerful beings who can do as they please due to their status. With great power comes great irresponsibility. Hercules. Zeus slept with a beautiful Greek woman named Alcmene and had a son named Hercules. Hera was angry and decided to get rid of Hercules by putting snakes in his crib. Hercules was a very strong baby, thus he took out the snakes one by one. Hercules could not manage his anger, killing his wife and 2 children. He prayed to Apollo and begged him to rid him of his wrongdoings. Apollo tells Hercules that he must perform 12 heroic tasks. After completing the 12 tasks, Apollo tells Hercules that he will become immortal and live among gods. Hercules married a second time after his adventures. His wife wove him a cloak, but without her knowledge the cloak was smeared with poison. When Hercules put the cloak on, he began burning in excruciating pain. When the burning wouldn't stop, Hercules requested his friends to build him a resting place on top of Mount Oeta. This would be his final resting place. While he was burning to death, the gods decided to raise him from the dead and take him to Mount Olympus. Achilles. Achilles was the son of Peleus, a mortal king of the Myrmidons. His mother was Thetis, a Nereid. Thetis did anything she could to make her son immortal. She dunked him into the river Styx. The water never touched his heel. As a result, he was invulnerable everywhere but his heel. Achilles' fate was to be a great warrior. It was predicted that he would heroically die in the Trojan War. During the war, Achilles refuses to fight on behalf of Agamemnon and doesn't come out of his tent. The Greeks lost one battle after another. Achilles' cousin Patroclus goes in the battle in disguise as Achilles. Patroclus is killed by the prince of Troy, Hector. Achilles, angry, revenges his cousin by killing Hector and joins the war. With Apollo's guidance, Paris shoots an arrow aimed at Achilles' ankle, killing him. Arcas. Arcas was the son of Zeus and the nymph Callisto. Callisto was later turned into a constellation by Hera after finding out Zeus and Callisto had relations. Years later, while hunting, Arcas hunts his mother not knowing who she was. Zeus hid Arcas in Arcadia, Greece. Arcas lived in the city until one day King Lycaon placed him on a burning altar to be sacrificed for the gods. Zeus was enraged because he was being tried by the king to save his son. Zeus heals Arcas and turns the king into a werewolf. Arcas became the king of Arcadia and one of its greatest hunters. On a hunting trip, Arcas meets with his bear mother. She moves closer to embrace him, but he shoots her with an arrow. Zeus felt sorrow for them, thus changing them into constellations, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. Perseus. An oracle told King Achilles of Argos that by the time his daughter Danae gives birth to a son, the king would be dead. Zeus sneaks into the tower where Danae was locked up, and they sleep together. And as a result, Perseus was born. King Achilles put Perseus and Danae into a barrel and threw them into the ocean. They got out on the beach of Sirphos. Later, King Polydectes wants to get Danae. Perseus promises Medusa's head for his mother's freedom. Athena wanted Medusa's head. Perseus got advice from her on where he could find the supplies needed to kill Medusa. Nymphs gave him the helmet of invisibility, winged sandals, and a special pouch for carrying Medusa's head once he chopped it off. Hermes also provided Perseus with a special cutting implement, a sword or sickle of Adman. When fighting Medusa, Perseus used the device from Athena to avoid looking at Medusa directly. When Perseus went back, he used Medusa's head on King Polydectes, since he didn't keep his promise. Helen of Troy. Helen was the daughter of Queen Leda and Zeus. Helen was well known for being very beautiful. She married Menelaus and conceived a daughter named Hermione. Paris, prince of Troy, chose Aphrodite as the most beautiful goddess in return for a beautiful wife. Paris visited Sparta as a royal guest, and Helen was asked to look after him. Paris had different plans than to relax. He seduced Helen and stole her and riches. After Menelaus found out about the betrayal, he forged a war known as the Trojan War that lasted for 10 years. Spartans won the war using the Trojan horse to sneak into Troy. Helen escaped, but Menelaus was killed by Hector. Helen has been seen to be the cause of the war, and she was blamed for all of the deaths. Orpheus. Orpheus was the son of the muse Calliope and the god Apollo. Apollo gave Orpheus his first lyre, a small U-shaped instrument. When he sang and played the lyre, animals, trees, and even rocks began dancing. Orpheus married Eurydice, who was killed by a snake bite. He was filled with grief and decided to go venture to the land of the dead to bring his wife back. Orpheus convinced Hades to allow his wife to go back among the living. Hades had one condition. Orpheus and Eurydice were forbidden to look back. When Orpheus saw the light, he turned to give Eurydice the good news, but she then disappeared. Harmonia. In some of the race, Harmonia was the daughter of Zeus and the Pleiad Electra. She was the wife of Cadmus and had 6 children. During their wedding, Cadmus got her a necklace from Hephaestus. Sadly, that necklace brought misfortune to all who possessed it. The necklace was inherited by descendants with the bad luck. Theseus. Poseidon took fancy in Aethera, Theseus' mother. Before Theseus was born, King Aegeus, Aethera's husband, told Aethera that when he becomes of age, he has to lift a giant boulder and would receive his sword and sandals. He killed many villains such as Sinis, Sciron, and Procrustes, but the greatest of them all was the Minotaur, half man, half bull. Theseus had all the traditional qualities of a hero, such as strength and courage. He was also intelligent and wise. His early adventures benefited the city of Athens. He led Athenian armies on many victories. He also gained a reputation for helping the poor and oppressed. When Theseus got older, he started making horrible decisions and going on foolish adventures. Soon, he died in exile.